Good morning. Thank God it is Friday. TGIF. Friday is the last trading day for the week. But financial markets operate around the clock. So not to worry for those who are plugged into the markets. Trading may be ending on Friday for the NGX, but news goes on all day, all year around. So welcome to today's pre-market video. If you're newly joining the channel, thank you for doing so. I do this every day at about 9:30 a.m. That's when you get the video, but I tend to record 30-40 minutes, sometimes 2-3 hours beforehand, depending on my routine for the day. Do take out the time to like, share, and subscribe. It helps grow the channel. The more you do so, the better the views I tend to get. And it's all about just sharing information. You might call it literacy. I just don't like the word literacy. I think literacy has been overflowed as a word. But yeah, you could call what I do literacy and all. I also don't like the term content creation because I think content creation these days, some of the content you see is cringe-worthy. But we are in the business of numbers. We are in the business of stocks. We are in the business of finance. So if you find this useful, and I'm sure many of you do, take out a minute or two to like, share, subscribe. Put on your notifications as well, because weekends you're going to have lots of videos coming up back to back to back. As always, do note that content, yeah, I should get rid of the word content. I don't like that word content, but yeah, I could call this content. As always, do note that content is not investment or trading advice. These are not stock picks. They're not trading signals. I don't run a stock pick channel. I don't run a WhatsApp group. I'm active in a couple of WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups where you have quality information shared, FOC, free of charge. A big shout out to my Crypto Senko fam. Shout out to Crypto Senko, does an amazing job. You want to follow him on Twitter. I think his Telegram group may have a few spots left. Go through it. And if you're there, I know a huge number of the Senko fam follow me. Thank you for doing so. Take out the time to go watch all the videos and read through all the messages in the groups that you are in, whether it's a Telegram or WhatsApp group. The essence of all this is to get people to do their own research and make it easier to throw some light, help with better understanding of the stock market, Nigerian stock market. Sometime at a couple of months, we keenly look at expanding. I just don't know whether it's going to be on this channel or it's going to be on a separate channel, but we are looking at expanding or maybe doing some stuff on the Kenyan and Ghanaian markets. Let's get right into it for the NGX today. Criteria for my watch list: price and volume movement, as well as corporate actions. And we have a chunk of key corporate actions that have happened yesterday. Corporate actions are any announcements made by a firm, no matter how small. In my almost a decade watching the Nigerian equity space, every single notice you see matters. Every bit of information matters. You want to follow what's happening. But for today, Unity Bank first on my list. The reports are here. We're waiting for the notice. Should be sent to the NGX. Is that AMCON, the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, has exited its stake in Unity Bank. I think AMCON had a bit over 20% at stake in Unity Bank. They've sold. The whole tie-up with, I think it's Providus Bank. Yes, that's the bank. The tie-up with Providus Bank seems to be progressing quite nicely. Stock went on massive bid yesterday. Saw a bit over 50 million shares being bid, not a single share being offered. That's not surprising. So I expect a repeat of that today and probably a repeat of that next week, because stock is around 1 naira and some fraction. The offer that Providus is making, I think, is 3 naira and some fraction. So clearly there is room for upside. Question is, would you see the shares to get? Would you get the shares to buy? We don't know. So today promises to be an exciting day for Unity Bank shareholders if you've been there for a while. Aradel There are reports as well. If I know a report, I'd go online and walk you through the notice. Maybe I should do that. So ACA, African Capital Alliance, one of I dare say one of Nigeria's best run private uh, equity firms. I reports they've sold down a chunk of their shares in Aradel. They were one of the early investors there. Now, I can't confirm if they sold the entire stake they had, but it very likely is. The notice doesn't say so, but I guess we'd have to know maybe by Q3, which is just around the corner, would know if that's the case. So, is this the time for this stock to fly? Because one of the factors that held back this stock is every time ACA or some big investors sold down a chunk of shares, that would depress the price. So if the big boys who are exiting seem to have or reportedly have exited, then we will see this stock fly. I'm sure there's research available everywhere. Clearly, this is a stock that should be somewhere in between the 800 to 1,000 naira mark. But one of the factors that has depressed the stock price is you have big chunk of shares being sold periodically. I hope we are over that and all that. So clearly, let's see how Aradel is going to perform in today's trading session. Consolidated Hallmark Insurance, CHI, huge chunk of shares traded yesterday. I think over 300 million shares, which is huge. It's huge because I think this firm has about 10 billion shares outstanding. So you have 300 million shares trading. Who's buying? Who's selling? That is what we want to know. I'm sure we should get that in the next couple of days or maybe weeks. MTN Nigeria moved in the opposite manner I was expecting. I was thinking that we'd see bids in the 399, 4, I mean 405, 407, 410. Rather, the stock in stock traded large volume. Over 10 million MTN Nigeria shares were traded yesterday. So, how would it move today? Fridays are usually a day when you have a profit taking, and also we are winding down. I dare say we are winding down actually not just the end of a month, but we are winding down the end of a quarter. So you may see some form of portfolio rebalancing by portfolio managers. A huge chunk. I mean, MTN is, I dare say, from a trading perspective, is in a unique place. It's a stock that you have a decent retail as well as institutional traffic in terms of trades and all. So we may see some more traffic in that stock. I would be watching out how the market will perform. For the rest of the day market coverage, I'm looking forward to the time where we can actually run 247 coverage on the Nigerian market. Would you like that? Or would you not like that? Let me know in the comment section. Are we close to that? Should we start doing 247 market coverage of the NGX and ultimately other African markets? Let me know if you'd like to see that as well. Let me see if I can think out a few things and then we'll kick it off in October. But for the rest of the day's coverage, 12:30 p.m., which is about 3.5 hours from when you would see this video, you'd have the midday update, 7 p.m. daily market summary on Spotify, 8 p.m. daily market summary on YouTube, 10 p.m. the daily market summary on Twitter at Green Ticker Tail. And the essence of spreading all this is that, especially for the last coverage, if there are key information that have break out after market close, after the video is gone, after it's up on Spotify, Twitter is one of the places you can go immediately and tweet and share your information as well. I mean, Spotify is quite easy. You just put you on your recorder, you record and you post, but Twitter has that immediacy as well. So that's pretty much about it. Questions, drop in the comment section. Send an email to info@greentickettails.com. Questions are always welcome. I try to answer most of the questions and comments I see, except if it looks like investment advice, I just tend to skip it. That's not, the channel is not for advice, right? So you need advice. Hit up my seller link or reach out. I mean, there's a bunch of financial communities. A big shout out to the Money Africa firm. I did spend some time there, and they're an amazing set of people. So there's just so much where to learn. You can afford to pay or you want to pay, it's available. You're not in a position to pay, there's content everywhere. Big shout out to TNI as well, the TNI podcast. You should be following TNI. I say TNI team does an amazing job. So big shout out to everyone. One of these days, I think we'll all jump on the live. myself, TNI, Micah, and every other person who's doing an amazing job. Watch out on Twitter as well. Very likely we may have, myself and Charles may have a Twitter space, Green Ticketales Twitter space sometime on Sunday. Lots of banking numbers to discuss. So we'll keep an eye on things. Give a heads up if/when we'll have a Twitter space on Sunday. For the podcast, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. I always encourage people. I know people have their favorite channels and all, but for me, Spotify just gives me the best, gives me room, has the capacity for me to push out a lot of content when I do so. So if you're not following on Spotify, you want to do so. You can check in once a week, once a day, whenever it's convenient, but you will have more content on Spotify than YouTube. I'd love to have more content on YouTube. Unfortunately, I'm constrained by algorithms, constrained by time, because I need to go make my bread, right? So that's pretty much where you have a chunk of content. Thank you. Have a great day. See you in 3.5 hours. Stay safe.